Hey everybody, Brett Mix from Montreal Wrestling 101. Just want to say that this is the Monday Night Wars, the WWF side, week 104. I archive all the reviews so they're easy to see, so you don't have to go look for them. This is week 104. Ratings for Raw were at 2.6 this week. Nitro scored a 4.0. WCW wins for the 66th week in a row. Nitro won by a total of 1.4 points. So now after this week's loss for Raw, the total scoreboard has Raw at 17 wins all time since the war has started. 85 losses and 2 draws, though, through these 104 weeks they've gone at it. So this show, week live, it was the Survivor Series Go Home show on the USA Network November the 3rd, 1997 from Hershey Park Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania. This was the Go Home show to the infamous Survivor Series in Montreal. Raw then opened up with the pyro after Thorn in Your Eyes' awesome video opening to the show. JR and Cornette says fans have been turned away, it's sold out, and more freedom of expression than you could ever ask for. Vince was saying Stone Cold Steve Austin as he entered the ring, as he welcomed him out through the curtain. We first see Austin in his other side jackass t-shirt. He tells McMahon payback is hell, and when you drop Stone Cold on your head and damn near paralyze him, then there's an ass-kicking plan and it's simple. McMahon mentions that Austin got stunned on Ahmed Johnson last week, and he isn't too happy about that. They show the footage of Ahmed stuttering Ahmed last week, and Ahmed with his red long sleeve shirt ready for winter. Ahmed came out and promised Austin he's going to kick your ass. Ahmed says, let's get it on. Austin then said for the first time, if you want to see Ahmed Johnson get your ass kicked, give me a hell yeah. And the fans said hell yeah, like it's been done before. But this is the first time on Raw he's ever done that. Not only is it the first time on Raw he's ever done that, it's the fact that he was in the ring and he actually got the crowd to chant along with him. The crowd never chanted along with Austin. He said, I don't even need your approval. So Sunny then came to the ring to introduce the cruiserweights for the light heavyweights, as they like to call them. She has a habit of doing. Super Loco met Aguila first. Sunny leaves and we go to the first match. Aguila met Super Loco in a WWF light heavyweight title tournament quarterfinals match. Super Loco with a big-time Hurricane Rana after some decent springboard counter-wrestling. A somersault plancha is missed. Then Loco took a high risk and hit the security rail. A twisted corkscrew plancha by Super Loco. He slingshots in and takes him out with a crossbody. Aside the suplex attempt, and he landed on the groin first on the top rope. Aguila in trouble as a surfboard variation while holding on to the wrists of Aguila. Good technical moves by Loco. Aguila crashes to the floor of the moonsault with the top rope cartwheel for more offensive onslaught. Aguila drops down on Loco with a corkscrew plancha, this time into the ring on the canvas floor. High-flying contests with a bit of big spots thrown in between. Aguila with an arm drag all the way off the top, and this gets him ready for the crossbody on the floor. Aguila defeated Super Loco in the light heavyweight title tournament quarterfinal match on Raw at 5:15 after a crossbody off the top rope. It was a great match. I give the light heavyweights 3 stars. Moving on, they do some backstage segments with Marlena and Goldust as she explains being away from her family. I wonder why they continued the Pillman angle after he died, but this has made sense for this to actually shape the new way for Goldust's character, as he became the artist formerly known as Goldust. He told Marlena she can shove her wedding ring, and he walked away mad. And Marlena was insulted because of it, as she was in tears crying. Ahmed Johnson came to the ring with a match with Stone Cold, as that was by design, but all of a sudden the lights went out and a big red light came on as they play Kane's music. Kane chokeslams Ahmed Johnson. Kane's pyro's out as the buckles explode with pyro. Kane's been doing this for weeks, but here he does it to Ahmed Johnson. Mankind comes from the back and puts the mandible claw on Paul Bearer. Mankind with a huge piece of metal knocked down for Kane for the first time. Kane then set up like The Undertaker does. Cornette asks if any human can drop Kane. Austin is out next to the arena, and he says Ahmed was going to get his ass whooped one way or another, whether it was him or anybody else, and it was obviously Kane. Austin then asked for a hot dog and a beer because he opened up an invitation, but no one has responded to it. All of a sudden, the Nation music hits, and Kama Mustafa comes out, and other Nation members. Austin looks to take the fight to Kama before WWF officials could separate them back up, and Austin walked away with the roar of the crowd approving that. McMahon welcomed everybody to the War Zone on commentary. Michael Cole then introduced Shawn Michaels, as Michael Cole was really green here at the time. Rick Rude came out. Rick Rude then introduced the past, present, and future of pro wrestling. Rick Rude came back and introduced the future of pro wrestling, Degeneration X. Michael Cole talks about Shamrock. HBK interfered with Sweet Chin Music during the sharpshooter last week. HBK then pushes down Michael Cole while he's on the ring on all fours, China was, and that's what made a bridge for Michael Cole to fall while Triple H pushed him down on the canvas. Triple H then watches HBK play the guitar on the European title, like Hollywood Hogan in WCW. HBK says the next week he's going to walk out naked. Then the girls scream in the audience. Then take the world's most dangerous man, Shamrock, and he shows the crotch chop at the time. Triple H then calls out Sergeant Slaughter to make the match official. HBK and Triple H put on protective masks to block spit from Slaughter. McMahon says, "What are these two degenerates up to now?" Mark Mero with Sable took on Savio Vega. We haven't had an actual match on the show in like an hour, but here comes one. Mero checked on Sable before she was getting ready to give the crowd more attitude, Warzone style. Mark Mero changed up his style. He's usually the high-flying attacker, but here he was the boxer. Marvelous, Mark. McMahon then calls Sable voluptuous, the same word he was indicted or have in the whole trafficking situation, where that was the V word for Vince McMahon, calling his ladies that he likes voluptuous. I remember him using that word with Trish Stratus as well. We haven't had an official match in some time, but these two go at it. Savio Vega punches away Mero and lands a shoulder tackle. Vega comes back, but Mero catches him with chops. TKO move for Mero, which has been getting him wins as of late. And he wins this one at 2:37. I gave the match a 1.5 stars. Vader versus the British Bulldog in a dog collar match. Bulldog's got Furnace and LaFon with Neidhart out with him. A big test mass power strengthened by a dog collar for both men. Vader dragged Bulldog consecutive buckles there as there's such tension. Vader dragged Davies Boy Smith from one to the next. Vader wins at 3:40 after touching all 4 buckles. LaFon and Vader go at it after the match. Then a fan in the ring comes in and Vader lays on him and they act like it's a real fan, but it's actually Steve Blackman. I gave the match 0.5 stars. Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg versus Los Boricuas, Jesus Castillo and Jose Estrada. Badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James are trying their best to get over it, and eventually it happened. Road Dogg with an abdominal stretch, a backbreaker by Gunn. Gunn comes back with a leapfrog and a nice counter slam by Jesus. Road Dogg says, "We're moving up the ladder." Gunn and Dogg get the win at 5:20 after Los Boricuas, who went and take over, got caught, and a cheap victory as they both soon to be named Outlaws. I gave the match 3/4 stars. Main event, Ken Shamrock took on Shawn Michaels for the WWF European Championship. Michaels had Rude, Chyna, and Triple H in his corner. Ken Shamrock opened up on Michaels, Vince McMahon's last Raw match as head commentator, as this was right before the Survivor Series with the screw job, of course. Helmsley behind the official lays out Shamrock. Back in the ring, Shamrock falls out using his own body weight. A crossbody to HBK by the most dangerous man in the world, Ken Shamrock. He hits a reverse elbow, but then a standing Hurricane Rana gets blocked into a sunset flip by HBK. And then a belly-to-belly suplex is hit by Shamrock. Triple H came into the ring with the briefcase and hit Shamrock on the back. And from there, we had a disqualification as the officials saw Rick Rude and Triple H both in the ring. Rude then hit Shamrock with the briefcase again, and Triple H pedigreed him right on the briefcase, Shamrock. In the end, Shamrock won the match by DQ at 5:55 after the DX interference. I gave the match 1.75 stars. It would have had more potential had the match gone longer, but it was limited time because the whole rest of the show took up a lot of time. After the match, they beat on Shamrock, as does DX. They end the show with Shamrock down and Vince saying on the commentary, "Well, this happened to Bret Hart on Sunday." Well, this cliffhanger closing line. And more than that, we all know what happens to him in Montreal. So quality rating-wise, I give this show a 5 out of 10. It was definitely a Genesis type of Attitude Era show with the whole DX shenanigans, Goldust turning the other cheek, Mankind with Kane, trying to incorporate light heavyweights with Sonny, talk of racial prejudice in the nation, Mero jealous of Sable, the Outlaws before they were the Outlaws, Double J and Cornette doing more shooting, and Stone Cold coming out a couple of different times with the next big thing, showing he's the next big thing. Just a lot of variety in this episode. This show turned the page as it was the last show again before Survivor Series, and got decent ratings, but couldn't beat the thunderstorm that was Nitro at the time. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these reviews. I enjoy pumping them out. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.